Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into a pressing issue that's been making waves in the world of sports and urban development. Paris, the city of lights, is gearing up for the Olympics, but there's a troubling story emerging from the Olympic Village that you need to hear.
The Summer Olympics have officially kicked off in Paris with an opening ceremony unlike any other in recent history.
Imagine arriving at the Olympic Village in Paris, only to find that your living quarters are so dire that you'd rather sleep outside on the ground. How did Paris, a city known for its elegance and grandeur, end up creating a health nightmare for its Olympic athletes?
Well, it's been called the Green Games, or tried to be called that anyway, as Paris tries to show off its climate credentials with vegan menus for elite athletes. Ariane Titmus already said the conditions are not ideal as portable air conditioners are having to be brought in.
Paris was supposed to be the pinnacle of Olympic hospitality, a city that would roll out the red carpet for the world's best athletes. But as the countdown to the 2024 Games ticks away, the Olympic Village has turned into a story of rushed construction and unforeseen problems.
Yes, but I have heard it's not completely safe, so
I would try to get my head above the water and have a shower.
Bit of someone who thinks water can be dirty, like we swim in here and there can be little.
It's hard to believe, but some athletes are choosing to sleep outside rather than risk their health inside the village. Their makeshift beds on the ground reflect a stark contrast to the high standards they were promised. They've traded the comfort of their rooms for the unpredictability of the Parisian elements. Why? Because the conditions inside are just that bad. The rooms were in shambles. Broken fixtures, exposed wires, and no proper heating. We tried to make do, but eventually, it was just better to sleep outside and avoid the mess. The problem extends beyond just the living conditions. The surrounding infrastructure and local support services were also hastily arranged, leading to a shortage of essential services and amenities for the athletes. The Olympic Village was supposed to be a safe haven, but it's turning out to be anything.
Paris is turning out to be a bit problematic for the athletes. But her biggest problem is lack of sleep. The beds are just too small to give athletes their much needed sleep.
Though you can probably tell I'm in Paris, you may also notice that I'm not in the Olympic Village.
Oh yeah, as far as the Olympic Village, I think the last few times I've done the Olympics, we've spent our fair share of time in the Olympic Village and kind of felt like part of the group there. I mean, usually we stay outside of it, but we get our time right before the opening ceremonies. We get our time to walk through the village, and as we go into other sports as well, we get to walk through the village. So I think we get enough time there.
This unexpected turn of events has ignited a media firestorm. The images of athletes who have dedicated their lives to perfecting their skills and preparing for the pinnacle of their careers, struggling to find a place to sleep, have captured headlines around the world. These elite competitors, usually seen in the spotlight for their incredible performances, are now making news for their desperate efforts to secure basic comforts. The situation is more than just an inconvenience, it's a profound disruption to the athletes' preparation and mental well-being. Instead of focusing on their training, which is crucial for their performance and success, they are forced to contend with the discomfort and uncertainty of inadequate housing. This crisis underscores a broader issue of how the rush to meet deadlines and political pressures can compromise the well-being of those at the heart of the event. When construction is rushed, the consequences are often dire, and quality inevitably suffers. This principle is glaringly evident in the case of the Olympic Village. Faced with tight deadlines and mounting pressure, the construction teams prioritized speed over thoroughness, leading to a series of significant issues that have compromised both the safety and comfort of the facilities. The hurried approach to completing the Olympic Village has resulted in a range of problems, many of which are deeply troubling. Structural issues have emerged, with some buildings showing signs of instability or poor construction practices. For example, there have been reports of cracked walls, uneven floors, and faulty electrical wiring, all of which pose potential safety hazards. Adding to the complexity of the situation is the problem of the river conditions in Paris, which have compounded the difficulties faced by the construction teams and the athletes. The River Seine, which runs through the heart of Paris, has been a major factor in the construction challenges. Heavy rains and unexpected flooding have affected the surrounding areas, including the Olympic Village. The high water levels have not only complicated construction, logistics but also exacerbated issues with drainage and sanitation. Floodwaters have disrupted the worksite, causing delays and damage to partially completed structures. These river-related complications have further aggravated the already problematic living conditions within the village. The rising water levels have led to increased moisture in the buildings, contributing to issues such as mold and dampness. This, combined with the inadequate plumbing and waste management systems, has resulted in unsanitary and uncomfortable conditions for the athletes. The international media has been quick to seize on the unfolding disaster at the Olympic Village in Paris, amplifying the scale of the crisis to a global audience. News outlets from around the world have reported extensively on the plight of the athletes and the alarming state of the facilities. From major headlines in newspapers to breaking news segments on television, the story has captured widespread attention and scrutiny. Journalists have highlighted the stark contrast between the initial promises of luxury and the current reality of substandard conditions. Reports have featured images of athletes sleeping outside, construction debris scattered around, and unfinished facilities plagued by leaks and mold. The coverage has not only focused on the physical problems but also on the broader implications for the Olympic Games and the city's reputation. Critics in the media have questioned the competence of the organizers and the prioritization of speed over quality. There's been a flurry of opinion pieces and investigative reports dissecting how a project of this magnitude could fall so short of expectations. The media has also scrutinized the response from city officials and construction teams, analyzing whether their efforts to address the issues are sufficient and timely. As the Olympic Games unfold in Paris, the challenges faced by the Olympic Village have become a major talking point. Despite the start of the Games, the issues with the village persist, highlighting the gap between initial promises and the current reality. The ongoing struggle to resolve these problems has affected the athletes and the overall experience of the Games. As the world watches, the true impact of the village's shortcomings on the athletes and the event itself continues to unfold. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the challenges facing the Olympic Village in Paris. We appreciate your support and look forward to bringing you more engaging content in our next video.